Welcome to Sambhashana, a fortnightly talk show where I present conversations with diverse personalities from various industries. And I'm your host, Neelima. For this week, we have yet another very interesting and super talented personality who upcycles electronic waste into creative design. Yes, you heard that right, converting all the tons of e waste we produce into artistic designs. I'm super excited to welcome Mr. Vishwanath Mallabadi from Chitradurga, where art is respected and encouraged. He has a BSc degree and a degree in Bachelor of Fine Arts in Applied Art from College of Art in New Delhi. With over 25 years of work experience in organizations like NDTV, Wipro, PCL. His father, late Mr. D.M. Shambhu, was a famous sculptor and a painter and dedicated his life in restoring and maintaining valued artifacts and had a profound impact on Mr. Vishwanath, on his professional career. Mr. Vishwanath has created many unconventional and iconic designs out of e-waste. His talent has been recognized by India Talent magazine, and his works have been exhibited at the International Conference of Sustainability Development Goals, which gathered a lot of recognition by the media. He conducts workshops and lectures, conferences, and seminars to promote e-waste awareness. His intention is to bring an emotional connect between people and e-waste. He strongly believes that art from e-waste could be an alternative method for recycling and preventing landfills. Mr. Vishwanath, I'm so glad and super elated to have you on Sambhashana, sir.
Thank you, Neelima. Thank you very much to have me here. This is even for me, it's like so exciting to share my experience and then talk about my journey. It's like a 2 decade of almost I spent 20 years in this journey, exploring lot of new art pieces and doing lot of R&D in e-waste space. So thank you very much. Yeah.
So we are also super excited to listen to your story, as I already mentioned. And today, Mr. Vishwanath will be sharing with us everything about upcycling e-waste, designing them, the process that goes into designing this, and he will also show us some amazing designs from his collection. And let us. Without any delay, let us just start the conversation. Sir, to begin with, you were an IT professional for about 25 years and you gave up everything
Yeah.
and then you started this. How did this all start? And where did this inspiration to start this upcycling of e-waste come from?
Yeah, exactly. To be very frank, my inspiration is my father. He is a renowned sculptor and painter from Davangere. So
Yes.
our family is a, you can say, is an artistic family where we have sculptor, painter, landscape designer, and animator. So it's like a combination of lot of skills which make me more inspiring and do a lot of creative work. That is my family background. And coming back to IT field, actually, I was not supposed to join IT field because I started my journey from video graphics designer from NDTV. So what
Yes.
happened? I completed my BFA degree in applied arts. So immediately I got a job in New Delhi Television where I was working as a graphic designer. I started in a very like basic as a designer where I used to do a lot of broadcast news graphics, and then
Wow.
used to get a lot of art directors and producers wherein I was working for production like films and then video art. So that's how I started my journey working in a broadcast company.
Okay.
And um, coming back to electronics field, one day I got a very exciting offer from one IT professional from North Carolina. He offered me like, why don't you come to Bangalore and we'll start up a new company, which is called Empower Corporation. So based
Okay.
on North Carolina, I was the first person who joined that company. Then they are basically into edutainment consultant, like working on IT as well as entertainment. So I used
Mm-hmm.
to do a lot of um, edutainment software, which is basically for different departments in US. So I used to
Okay.
design front end, and then we had 40 programmers, which I used to guide them how graphics should look like, and then integrating all the software with UI. So that is how my journey started, and I started working on IT companies. From Empower, I jumped into PCL Mindware. From there, I joined a very good company called Logix, and finally, I joined Wipro. Wipro as a UI specialist, user interface designer, design
Okay.
analyst. So I
Uh-huh.
got an offer, Nokia, which is a Finland-based company. So 2 years I was there in Finland working as a UI and user experience designer. So
Okay.
how I just wanted to like give a brief intro about my profile, like how I changed my graphic design and how I used my designing capabilities and started exploring into the new
Okay.
IT field. So
Mm-hmm.
that IT, and then how I interacted with a lot of engineers, and day in day out I used to see product development and then lot of R&D work in Wipro, so which made me more excited to why not I create something, probably some art pieces out of this basically from the
Wow.
electronics devices, not like
Yes.
e-waste. E-waste I was not aware like there is something called e-waste those days, like 10 15 years back. E-waste was not a big major issue. So that's how I
Okay.
started more interacting with e-waste and what all forms, like different shapes. I can show you just one
Yeah.
example, like PCB or different components like diode, resistance, and capacitors, relays. So each and every part in electronics, no, I am very much familiar. So that is
Wow.
how I try to correlate my visual experience, like the aesthetics and the designing part. So I try to relate, like for example, I'll show you one very beautiful example, which is SPF. SPF is nothing but a small pluggable device which is used in servers, which is
Okay.
basically a transceiver component.
Okay.
One second. So being in IT firm,
Uh-huh.
you basically interact with a lot of new customers and lot of new products. So
Okay.
this is one very interesting component which is used in the server, which basically is
Uh-huh.
the optical network device, small
All right.
pluggable device. And what it
Mm-hmm.
does is it's basically a transceiver. This is such a
Mm-hmm.
small device. So what makes me exciting is the form. So I'll just zoom into this, and then probably you will see it better. So these kind of things will, for example, a layman, they will never see in this life, like unless you explore or you are so curious about what is this product. Exterior is like a small metal box kind of thing. So when you try to open it, like dissect it, then only you will come to know, like, oh, this is so exciting. There is something. There is a PCB with a small component, SMD component, and there is a gold-plated fins which
Yeah.
plugs into the server. So these kind of things, no, you will never see in your life, like unless you explore and dismantle these kind of products. So that's
Mm-hmm.
how I got interested in a lot of new products, which makes me do. more and more explore um, creating artifacts. So that is
So thank you
how,
much for sharing your journey with us.
yeah,
And
yeah,
now you showed us some, some components.
yeah.
Now, my very obvious question will be, what are the kind of components which contribute to these e-waste? Can you just tell us, or
Yeah,
if you
yeah.
have something, can you show us, please?
Sure, sure, sure. Thing is I wanted to add one more very important point in this conversation, which is ham radio. Ham radio during 70s, there were hardly any mobile phones those days. So I used to create transceivers. Transceiver is like a transmitter and receiver, which is one handset which police and all a lot of other traffic police they use today. So we used to create those transceivers in 1970s. So there is a ham radio club which I was a member of that club. So that is very important milestone for my journey, wherein I learned how to create all this electronic gadget using electronics. For example, I'll show one typical example is glucometer, which is used for checking your glucose level. So this
Yes,
kind
yes.
of equipment, this kind of gadgets is very much available in e-waste, which is surplus. You can find anywhere in Gujri, what you call Sunday Bazaar. So
Yeah, yeah.
these things, when you see from outer product, there is nothing
Mhm.
interesting. There is only a physical form, which is also I'm using it in some other my product, but inside when you open it and then the curiosity, no, curiosity is
Yes.
nothing but like for example, like kid, he
Yeah.
tries to know what is there inside it. You just touch it and then you feel it. So that curiosity is still alive within me. So which makes
Yes.
me like more productive and to do more and more things a day in like every day. So
So,
another typical, yeah,
just to tell
yeah,
you, curiosity doesn't have any age. At any
correct,
age,
absolutely, yeah,
that
yeah,
is when you can go up to exploring many things in life.
absolutely, absolutely. So I'll give one very beautiful example. This is called a hard disk drive, which is a memory storage device inside
Yeah, we are all aware
computer.
of. We have seen. Yes,
Yeah,
yes.
yeah, yeah. So what happens, like if you see exterior, this just like a container, it's a box. So when you dismantle is nothing but I call it in my term, it's a surgery. Usually surgeons they open it up and then again assemble it. So that kind of things I do with each product. So it's not like one or two products. I use thousands of products which I dismantle and see what is there inside and then segregate each part, like whichever I feel is like very visually appealing, I segregate and put it in a different bin. So that's how my collection, though, it keeps growing. Each bin is like thousands of parts I used to collect.
And
So
how do you get these waste from? Where do you go and
yeah, yeah,
look for these kind of waste?
yeah. That's a very appropriate question. So every Sunday, what I used to do, I used to go to Sunday Bazaar. You know, Sunday Bazaar in
Yeah,
Chickpet.
yeah, yeah.
So try to hunt and keep looking for new products. Sometimes I
Hmm.
used to get in bulk, like kgs. These are some example, like for example, these electrolytic capacitor. These
Okay.
I buy it in like for example, 100 rupees kg. So in
Uh-huh.
1 kg, we'll get so many pieces. So this goes into my stock inventory. Like these are the capacitor. Then one fine day I'll just sit and then quietly listen to the music and keep thinking what can be done, what is the material all about. I don't see the functionality. I see the forms, I see the color, I see the texture. So all those things make me more inspiring, and then I create something extraordinary. This is one beautiful example I can show. Starry Night,
Wow.
which is Van Gogh's painting. So if you
Uh-huh.
can closely see, there are 20,000 registers used in this painting.
Whoa. Okay. Okay.
So I keep experimenting, like just see the color, the rhythm, the harmony. So it looks very interesting. So similarly, there is
Sir,
one, yeah,
the thing is, when
yeah,
you look at these components that you go and procure them, when
right.
you're just buying this, how does your design process just start? How do you actually create anything for that matter? Because you have so many designs that you've created. You have a set pattern, or randomly that you go ahead and create these designs?
That is excellent question. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Design process is very simple. This is one slide I can show you, like the how design process starts, starting from collecting the e-waste and dismantling, segregating each component in separately, and then the visualization starts. So this is one flow chart which gives you clear picture how design process happens. And I'll show you a couple of designs which will give more how I visualize it. This is one very beautiful example. This is a tribal African face. So
That's very
wherein I,
interesting.
yeah, I like the moment I saw this hairs, no telephone wires, it looks like curly hairs, like African tribal kind of face. So these kind of things which makes me more exciting. One more example is this cow. If you
Uh-huh.
see the patterns, how the lighter and darker shades, how it gels together, and there is little bit of the texture which I try to create. And can you hear this? So
Yes.
small, yeah, there is a light
Wow.
on eyes. So it
I'm
makes more.
excited like a small kid looking at your
Yeah,
designs.
yeah. Yeah. So those kind of small things, no, as I told you, like robotics. Robotics is nothing but it's basically, um, for example, this avatar, I can make the head move, turn around, and the hands. All those things is a enhancement. For example, there's a simple example, table lamp. Very simple. There is a LED bulb, and then one power supply or battery I can use. So it's a very
Okay.
useful, usable product which anyone can create it. It's not
So
like
during this
yeah,
process of design,
yeah,
I'm sure you would have a lot of challenges. Would you be able to share some of your challenges that you have been facing?
yeah. One major challenge is suppose if somebody asks, I want 100 pieces of this clock, and they
Yeah.
want exactly the same design. So
Uh-huh.
procuring that PCB is a major challenge. Like you cannot get these kind of PCB in bulk because these are very few PCBs you will get it in the Gujri.
Mm-hmm.
In case if somebody asks, I want 100 pieces, so each piece is a masterpiece. I cannot replicate it for a large audience. It's not possible. That is one major
Okay.
challenge. And
Mm-hmm.
one more thing I'll just show you. This is one portrait I made out of printed circuit board. I gave it to Mr. Azim Premji on his birthday. So these
Wow.
kind of artwork, if you this I created within no 10 days. I created this kind of portrait. So this
Wow.
is again a
That's
masterpiece, unique pieces,
yeah,
and there are
yeah,
a lot of
yeah.
jewelry item which I can show you. Some are
Oh, you
pendants.
have even jewelry also out of
Yeah,
this?
yeah. Jewelry is this is nothing but for me. Jewelry creating jewelry out of e-waste is very simple for me
Okay.
because jewelry you have a very specific, like for example, rings, and then these joints. No, you can easily just connect each one separate. These are
Okay.
earrings. These are matching jewelry.
Okay.
Then
Okay. Okay.
there is a this one, what do you call, the band bracelet. So all these are made out of wire, color wires,
Okay.
pendants.
Okay.
So abroad, these are very popular. Like they are crazy about these kind of jewelry.
I'm sure, I'm sure.
Yeah,
So,
yeah, yeah,
having these creations and having all this, upcycle creations out of, the technology e-waste.
yeah,
Now,
yeah,
I'm sure that if you look at the downside, there are some kind of implications on the health and also the environment. What do you
yeah,
have to say about this?
yeah. I would like to say like if you see all this e-waste, no, not all the e-waste are hazardous. Like if you see one example I give you, this is one simple plug-in board which is a graphic card. So if you see this board, there is nothing there which is like some gold plating is there, copper, and then some diodes, and then raisins and crystals, capacitors, SMD, chips. So if you see what is most dangerous, or there is nothing. I personally see there is nothing which is harm human body in this, unless you cut, and then the fumes which goes inside you, that maybe. So you have to take a lot of precautions while working on this. That is one
Okay.
very major I forgot to add. Unless you have all the precautions, so like breathing, you may get all the epoxy, this one fumes, so those things you have to avoid before working on these kind of things. So
About the
there is a
implications on landfills, you were even mentioning some time ago.
yeah, yeah, yeah,
But
correct,
yeah,
correct.
what is that you would like to share with us?
Yeah, thing is like in India, there are policies in place. Ministry of Environment and Pollution Control Board. They say you cannot throw your old stuff or e-waste into the bin. It needs to be processed through authorized dealers. So those things, everything is in place, but nobody is following that. That is
Hmm.
I would like to add that point. Unless you have a stringent rule, or you add some penalty or something low, like in Europe and US they do. If you want to get rid of end of life products, you cannot just throw. You have to pay to the recyclers or upcyclers and then get rid of them. That is my
Okay.
point I would like to add. Yeah.
And how one can reduce e-waste or discard the e-waste?
Yeah, discarding, I told you, like you have to you have to opt for upcycling. That is the only way. You can get in touch with recyclers, but recyclers are again, I don't want to talk about recyclers space. This is again a very big industry. So recyclers basically they collect all this e-waste, and then in tons they try to process them. So I
Okay.
don't want to go into details. If you want something more about upcycling, I can help you.
Okay. And how, as a common man, we can contribute in reducing your e-waste?
Yeah. Um, One very important thing is like you have to opt for minimalistic approach. Like suppose you have two, three mobiles, and then you say, I can just have one mobile, that is enough for me. And then every day there is a new devices come up with more of processing power, more of data storage space, and lot of new features. So everybody, if they try to opt for a new technology, new higher processing, then what will happen to the old phone? They will definitely go into land. So my
Yes.
suggestion is to you have to restrict to one mobile. You have to say that I don't want 10 mobiles. I don't want the latest mobile. I'm okay with this, whatever you have. That is my
Yeah.
suggestion.
Keeping yourself or living your life with some basic requirements.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Sir, moving on, you also conduct workshops. Can you just share some details, or what are the things that you cover in your workshop? How many days, and what is the
Yeah,
age group that can come and attend your workshops?
right, right. So workshop is one is just a basic orientation where I'll give a brief about the what all like e-waste, what is the kind of e-waste, what all gadgets, like very basic overview kind of thing, which anybody can like implement and get their old stuff and try to create something out of it. This is just an overview kind of thing. Then second workshop is 2 day workshop where they come and interact and create something interesting from
Mhm.
whatever stuff I have. I can teach them, and then collaboratively I'll work together and then create something interesting. And I have an advanced workshop program where there is a live project where we work together with some customers, and then we try to create something interesting. So if you are interested in basic, you can join me, or if you are just interested in some overview kind of thing, I can give you that information.
How can one reach out to you for your workshops? You have your social media handles, or what are your numbers that people can reach out to you?
Yeah, it's very simple. My handle is the Upcycle Store, which is very easily accessible in Insta page, the dot
Okay.
upcycle dot store. Or you
Okay.
can send me an email. My email is ewastart@gmail.com, or my
Okay.
mobile number, which is 810 5933 114. I'll repeat, 810 5933 114. So there
S-
you can reach me through LinkedIn, you can reach me through Twitter or Facebook. There are so many ways you can reach me.
Thank you so much. I will put that details up. So we
Yeah,
have just come, to the fag end of our show. Before I even jump to the rapid fire round, I would wanted to say a big thank you for coming over and showing us your art and explaining us what it goes through in the e-waste cycling. Thank you so much for your valuable time, sir.
yeah. Thank you, Neelima, for having. Thank you very much.
Yes, and we will, the rapid five round will have five questions, and where I will ask you five random questions, and you.
Fine, fine. Please go ahead.
The best compliment you received.
Yeah, I received one compliment from a small kid. I think she's a 3-year-old girl. She actually asked me um, to have a photograph with me. I said, no, absolutely no problem. You can come, and
Wow.
then we just hugged. And so she was thinking like, I don't know whether I'll be available if I get famous. So why don't I take one photograph with you? So I
Thank you
said,
so much.
absolutely
Th-
no problem. Yeah,
Thank you so much for sharing that
yeah,
with
yeah,
us.
yeah,
Your
yeah.
favorite piece of art that you created?
Yeah, this this one. Kamdhenu is my favorite art, which is made out of
Wow.
keyboard components, keys, and then mylar sheet, some copper wires. This is my favorite.
Wow. One personality that you admire?
I admire Steve Jobs, like how he took this Apple company. You know, I really like appreciate. I keep watching his videos, get inspired, and then it keeps me motivated to do something even better than him. That is how the one should think. Like whatever you do, no, it's not enough. Your life is not enough. You have to do more, more, more. Keep doing more.
When you think of your wife, the one word that comes to your mind?
Yeah, she is a beautiful, beautiful, very beautiful.
Okay. One destination from your travel bucket list?
Yeah, I have not one place, actually two, three places. Out of that, Europe is my favorite. Sweden,
Yeah.
Sweden. Yeah,
Sir, once again, thank you so much for answering all
yeah,
these questions and taking up the past five round.
yeah, yeah,
And it is absolute delight to have this conversation and learn so much from you.
yeah, yeah. Thank you very much.
Thank you
very
so much,
much.
sir. Thank you.
Thank you. Yeah.
Dr. Nirmala, such a pleasure to have you on our Sambhashana. Thank you so much for even coming and making an appearance.
Oh, yeah, thank you so much, Neelima.
Yes, yeah. Would you like to say something about Sir's art?
Yeah, I think he has told you everything. And in the beginning, I was very much annoyed with all this. It was looking like garbage for me. Now, I mean, making such a beautiful art piece. I'm very happy now. And
That's
he's
really nice.
recognized. Yeah.
Yes. Thank you so much, ma'am. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Thank you.